Hi, welcome to another edition of the Women in 3D Printing Youth Webinar Series. Women in 3D Printing is a global organization dedicated to promoting, supporting, and inspiring women who are using additive manufacturing technologies. Our mission is to increase the visibility of women in the additive manufacturing field and encourage more women to use 3D printing technologies. My name is Sanjana Narayanan, and I will be your host. I am a junior at Mission San Jose High School in Fremont, California, and the Youth Ambassador for Women in 3D Printing. I aspire to bring awareness about the various uses of additive manufacturing to students using the webinar series. The Youth Webinar Series is sponsored by XD Innovation, a Dassault Systems partner. XD Innovation focuses on cloud, software, consulting, and value-added services for product development technologies, enabling 3D design, engineering, simulation, data management, process management, quality, and compliance. Our guest today is Shweta Thapa, co-founder of 3Educators in New Jersey. Shweta is a mechanical engineer, Women in 3D Printing New Jersey ambassador, and co-founder and CEO of an educational 3D printing startup called 3Educators that trains communities, schools, and individuals on the benefits and applications of 3D printing and how it can be incorporated in the school curriculum to make education a hands-on and tangible experience. She has recently started a YouTube channel to educate complete beginners in the 3D printing field, Shweta_3D Diva. Please follow and like to learn more. You can also follow 3Educators on their social channels at Instagram at 3Educators USA, Facebook at 3Educators USA, or email them at hello@3educators.org. Hi Shweta, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Sanjana. Thank you for inviting me and creating this channel so we can share and talk more about 3D printing.
Sure. Let's dive straight in. So your first interaction with 3D printing technologies occurred when you were a student. So how did this experience spark your interest in the field?
So I came for my master's at Rutgers, master's in mech and aerospace engineering, and my professor, he asked me to build a 3D printer so that we could fabricate a biopolymer, essentially something like a cardiac stent, small enough, and microstructures, and then test it out for its properties and stuff. So in order to do that, I had to build a printer from scratch, but he walked me through it and we made a tiny lab kind of a 3D printer with a little beaker module, and that was capable of UV polymerization. And the first time what I built out of that printer was a very tiny Lego. And what it made is something that fascinated me and made me believe that 3D printing can make almost anything in this world, like microstructure with such high resolution coming out of a beaker in the lab. And what you build is something from nothing. So that was my first interaction with 3D printing, seeing something 3D printed. And that was my aha moment that, this technology is very incredible. And my first purview of it was that it would be only used for biomedical. But as I started to learn more about it, I realized that it is a very diverse technology and it has applications in a lot of fields. But yeah, but it started from school, and I think schools are the best places where 3D printing can actually nurture people to believe in things they've always thought of doing. So. Mhm.
So leading to our next question, what drove you to co-found 3Educators and what are your main goals for the platform?
Sure. So when the first time when I graduated from school with all my masters in 3D printing, designing and whatnot, I did join a conventional industrial setup working as an industrial designer in Minnesota for a year or so. We used to use all the conventional manufacturing techniques like lathe machines, CNC, make things in the subtractive way possible. However, I went to school to discover new things and make things that were like incredible. And while I was working, I realized I'm not using any of my school skill set that I learned. And additive manufacturing is something which blows everybody's mind. Not only that, it optimizes processes in the industry. Things get faster, prototyping is so much easier. But the company I was working for was kind of reluctant in getting, adopted to 3D printing over like 5 years back. So I quit my job there and I came down to my alma mater, Rutgers, and they gave us an incubation space that, we can get started with 3D printing, start developing a functional prototype of my master's project, which was a DLP 3D printer, and making it big. So we started there. I'm very grateful to Rutgers for giving us this space and opportunity. They believed in us, and we got an NSFI Corp grant just to take that project forward. And while doing that, we traveled. We met a lot of people all over United States. So we traveled to like 27 states doing maker fairs everywhere. And then we did our customer discovery and found out the pros and cons of different 3D printing techniques. And that's what made me realize that 3D printing is not limited to medical applications. There's a lot of things out there that people don't know. People don't know about 3D printers. They're just fascinated by it because they've seen it on the news channel. And that's where the main problem lies. We have to expose people to it. We have to make them aware of things, little things, design techniques. How do they use a basic 3D printer just to get started with? I mean, because at the end of the day, if you are not benefiting the community around you, what are you doing with 3D printing? So we were raised with questions like that. So we started coming up with better ways of exposing people to 3D printing technologies. And one of the best ways was taking workshops, doing education. And hence we started doing a lot of it. And every state we used to go to, we would educate communities about it. And maker fairs were one of the best places where we could do that because it's a wonderful community of makers. I mean, we had the last one in California last year, San Mateo Conventional Grounds, and it was one of the best experiences in the world. Yeah, I mean, you meet these amazing people who can make anything out of nothing, and they have so much respect for all new things around. And I mean, everybody just fascinates you. It's just amazing. And it's lovely to have a wonderful community of such people around you who are inspiring and then who look for new things and new changes so that we can help each other and make a better community.
Actually,
Hmm.
one of my first involvements with 3D printing was actually also at the Maker Faire in San Jose. So I
Beautiful.
think it's great that you came all the way here to share your
Hmm.
message. Um,
Absolutely.
so, so 3G Caterers has also been very heavily involved in introducing the youth to additive manufacturing. So
Hmm.
what are some of the benefits that you think 3D printing can offer to kids?
So 3D printing is very versatile. I would say when I was in school, I never had any exposure to 3D printing. Like, I mean, go to the labs, print out my projects. I might be doing a geography project or maybe a biology project. But if I had exposure to 3D printing when I was learning in elementary or high school, I would learn things better in a tangible way because I could actually feel what I made. Learning becomes so much better when we can actually see things happening in real. And that is what I think 3D printing benefits students here, that they can make their own projects, they can build things from scratch, they can build bridges, they can do whatever they like. And that's what I like focusing on. Like, we here in New Jersey have a lot of STEM innovation
Uh-huh.
and STEM innovation using 3D printing as a technique. And how do we work in a way that it's beneficial to kids? That's something we start working with the teachers and the trainers, and then we use it in our normal studies. Like, you're studying graphic design, for instance. Okay, I just read a concept of the book. I get it. Okay, but am I excited about it? I might forget this after a week, but if I 3D print out that particular graphic design thing, I will remember it forever because I have a tangible experience right in my hand. And that's something I think is very meaningful when we are learning something, you know? Make learning fun so that you remember it forever.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So One of my strongest beliefs with regards to 3D printing is that it should be integrated into the mainstream curriculum at schools. Do
Hmm.
you believe that this is something that could benefit students? And how do you think this change could be implemented?
Okay, I just don't believe it. I know we are actually doing it. Because I mean, it's 3D printing started 5 years ago. That time it was a technology where you couldn't touch it because it wasn't affordable. But right
Mhm.
now, I mean, innovation is so fast, like tech is jumping all around, that things have become so affordable in the market, and everybody wants to get their hands on just because not peer pressure, but in schools, what we see is because everybody wants to innovate in STEM, people want STEM labs. In a
Mhm.
STEM lab, it's essentially having a culture like a maker space. You have machines that help you make different projects. So you might have a lathe machine, you might have a laser etcher, you might have a 3D printer out there. And then you kind of use it so that you can do your projects really well. And you don't have to like wait to go to school or college and then learn all those techniques. You can do it right in school because you have those techniques and facilities. And one of the best ways to implement the use of 3D printers is make it part of a class project. That's how we do here. Like one of the schools in Mawa that we trained, they got like 20 3D printers from us, and we trained their teachers to use basic designing softwares so that they can incorporate that program in their curriculum and have their kids design basic tasks. So, say to an elementary school project, they're giving you a project that says design an office tool. Okay, so the kid comes up with a design idea or a concept, and now he's like, okay, I want to make this little box which is a tool holder. And look at that, he makes the design and everything, and then you get to 3D print it. Isn't
Mhm.
that amazing? I get to design and print what I just made. And this is making learning a really amazing experience. I kind of feel everybody wants it. It's just that you have to be exposed to the different options that exist over there. And
Yeah,
since 3D printing is so affordable now, I guess every school should have an allocation of STEM budget. And when they have that, they can easily incorporate 3D printing in their classrooms to make learning a better experience.
definitely. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
something that even my school could really benefit from because, as far as I know, we don't have that many 3D
Mm-hmm.
printers in the school. I think we do have one, but
Mm-hmm.
when I was first introduced to 3D printing, I was absolutely astonished by all the possibilities. And having that available to students is something that could really benefit them educationally and give them a really hands-on experience.
Absolutely.
And coming to our last question, so in these past few years, many of the additive manufacturing companies have started developing more youth-friendly printers and softwares. And
Mm-hmm.
as we're entering a new decade, how do you think that 3D printing will continue to change to be more accessible to the youth?
So first things first, it has become really accessible. Like I have toy printers in my own house because I know they're affordable. It's a DIY kit. You can build it from scratch. Ease of use. The first and foremost thing, because companies are competitive, they're trying to come up with hardware and software which is easy to use and that's free and accessible in the most ways possible. So that would be one of the best, I would say, selling points or ways that can help us grow better in this field because we started with the old maker bots,
Mhm.
and at one point of time it used to be lying in the classrooms and nobody would play with it because one extruder jam and then it's locked, nobody can use it again. But now we have so many printers like Reality, they are all open source. You can upgrade them anytime you like. You can change whatever filament you want. You can use, there's like so much, I would say, options with the printers that we have now that it's
Mhm.
make life much easier. And with softwares, I mean, Autodesk comes up with so many softwares which are free and easy to use. Fusion 360, Onshape was free before they've made it paid. But Tinkercad is free. There's like a lot of design tools that are already existing The only thing we need is good mentorship. Good mentorship to guide people to the right place, to the right things, what they need in order to make their project work. So I think we are all getting there. Like 5 years down the lane, we already have printers that we can buy and use them as a copy machine, literally, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, next 5 years, I mean, we would have bio printers in our house, I would say. I mean, I would have one, so yeah. You never know. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And
Mhm.
this concludes our conversation with Shweta. For more information about women in 3D printing, please feel free to visit our website or our LinkedIn page to learn more. And we hope to bring you more videos and talks about 3D printing in the weeks to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.